And the idea behind an advisory board is you go to your clients, the ones who are the most responsive, the ones who attend your calls, the ones who who've gotten some results, the one who built a little rapport with, and you go back to them and you use them as a feedback mechanism for what you're currently doing. So if you have a new idea, if you have some ads that you want to send out, if there's just certain things, or you can sometimes just hop on a call with everybody and said, hey, can you review this? Or, hey, if I could make something better with my program, what would that be? And you just hear the feedback. And it doesn't mean you always have to implement it, because some of it might be impossible to do, but it's a great way to get feedback from the people who love and appreciate you, are also part of your program, also have given you money, who also want your best interests in mind. And so for everybody here, it's always a great idea to get some sort of an advisory board, as you call it, and you can incentivize them. And again, we can talk about that if you have any questions, but this is your feedback mechanism, right? Because most times we're siloed in our own world and we get ideas that we think are great, and we have no real mechanism to get back responses from our ideas. So we run with them, and sometimes we run with them and they seem great, but they're not working. And we're like, well, I'm now paying for feedback from the market, which is okay to do as well. But ideally with an advisory board, you can get some feedback. So take it a step further. John then took that idea, went back to some of his clients and said, hey, let's have a chit chat about my stuff. Can you look at my landing page? Can you tell me how this might be off or might be on from why you got involved with me in the first place, et cetera, et cetera. John just shared, obviously, they provided some direct feedback, which may have hurt a little bit, but is very good, and said, you're missing the boat completely, right? We got involved with you because we wanted the emotional stability side of things, not the strategy side of things. Your landing page talks only about the strategy side of things. And so there's a disconnect there. And I see, John, also, someone gave you feedback about the refund option and saying, hey, a refund option is not necessary in our world because it's a B2B sale. The corporate covers the cost, not the individual per se. And so because corporate covers the cost, not the individual, this money back refund doesn't really make sense in a B2B corporate setting. Great feedback, by the way, which we would have never gotten if there was no advisory board. So John took all of this. Obviously, it's a little frustrating to have to redo some stuff, but it's a perfect example of when something is not exactly working, even though all the signals point that it should be, on how to get the feedback back and how to implement that feedback and probably see a different result.